divide in a very simple way. That why tree, why Mahotsava, and why community and how community is helping us. It is said that the tree planting started in 1947 by a commissioner of Delhi planting a tree. But being Bhavanites, being all from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, we should feel proud that the Vana Mahotsava term and the ceremony was started by none other than our founder, Chakraborty K.M. Munsiji, in 1950 when he was an union minister. He felt the necessity of a tree in the life of humankind and to save our mother nature, why we need tree. Simple, why we need tree. And our heartfelt gratitude to our founder, Chakraborty K.M. Munsiji, for this wonderful movement he has started, not only for India, but throughout the country. I repeat it because this is a need of the hour. And one advantage is that we have, all of us, those who are here in the discussion, are related with Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan in one way or other. It is important to note that India is very fortunate to have the working group. Average age is 29 years only. If you compare it with Japan, it is 49 years. In Germany, it is 40 years. Means the working group is going towards the old age. But in India, the most strength we have the youth strength. And if we can imbibe the idea to the students of our schools and institutions, if we can motivate them, then everybody believes that India can do a miracle. Again, India can do the pioneering work. Now, before progressing, what problems we are facing now? That has to be elaborated. Then we will see how and why a tree is needed. First of all, we know it. When I was in class 4, probably all of you know it from class 4, 5th standard, that this is the green tree only can give oxygen. No other element of the earth can produce oxygen, which is our survival need. So in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Agartala Kendra, we do an exercise. I request all my colleagues also to try in their school. We give the example like that. I am in a hospital. I am admitted in a hospital. I require 3 cylinders of oxygen daily, costing 2,000 each. Into 30 days, if I take my lifespan into 30 days, 12 months, an average 70 years. And I have 5 members in my family. So how much crores it comes? So simply planting a tree can save us 50 crores or 100 crores of rupees. Which one is better than? And problem is that no tree, and now we are facing the accumulation of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, what we call this global warming. It is only because carbon dioxide is getting deposited in the atmosphere. And who takes the carbon dioxide normally? The tree. We know it. That while processing their food, the trees that take away the carbon dioxide and releases oxygen for us. And today we are facing. In Mexico, 500 people died of heat wave. In London, the top road carpeting is melting. And everywhere in Delhi, it was 52 degrees centigrade. Everywhere in the country, in the world, we are facing the same problem. And it is because that carbon dioxide could not be absorbed by the trees because we have cut it ruthlessly. More than 10 million hectares of forest are cut every year compared to a country like Portugal. The result is that now you see the polar glaciers or icebergs are melting. Sea level is rising high. And one more thing, we'll all mark it that cyclonic formation every year now we are experiencing this, because if the sea level temperature goes more than 26 degree, there will be depression and cyclonic formation we are facing, and this is all devastation to the human life. Then one main important, drinking water. It is said that Third World War will be for the drinking water. And this is also because there is no tree. We are cutting the trees. And in some of the African countries, it started, in Burundi and Rwanda. The minister issues the drinking water permit. I have 3 members in my family. So I get, say, 5 liters of drinking water daily. This is probably happening, will be happening everywhere. And how a tree helps in drinking water conservation or drinking water formation, rather, I should say. It is simply like an umbrella. If you compare when we go with an umbrella in the rain drops get the hindrance in the umbrella and it flows deep by deep to the ground. That is what a tree is doing normally. The heavy rain getting disturbed in the canopy of a tree, then it is coming drop by drop in the soil, and it is going down as what we call that water table. And if there is not, simply what will happen? Suppose I am thirsty, I want a glass of water from you. What you do, you give a plaster on my face, and you pour a bucket of water. It does not reaches me, it goes as a runoff. And that is what is exactly happening. There is no tree. The water is not in a position to go inside the soil to make our water table high, and it is simply runoff. And that is why the problem is coming. And other benefits of trees, if we see or discuss, it is like soil binding. The root system of the tree binds the soil together. And now we can see the landside problems everywhere. Last time it was Himachal Pradesh. This time it is Sikkim. It is because there is no tree, not sufficient tree. And so this binding effect is not there. And a tree is home for all animals, birds, bees, butterfly, and all the other animals of the nature. And it is said that nature has made its web chain in such a way that each and every species has to do their work, a specific work. And Stephen Hawking, the greatest scientist, he told that if there is no bees or birds or butterfly, the human population will not survive for next 200 years, because there will not be any pollination, there will not be any fruit production, there will not be any crop production. I give you a simple example, and it is fact, you can find out in the website also. In 1962, China faced a famine. There was no crop in China. The simple reason was that a small bird like sparrow, it was feeding on the crop field, and little bit of damage was done to the young crops. The government thought, let us kill all the birds. And for example, they announced it that if you kill a bird, I give you 10 rupees. And everybody went happily to kill the bird and getting money. The main problem came with caterpillars. Otherwise, the birds used to destroy these caterpillars. But in absence of the bird, the caterpillar population increased heavily. And they cut all the blades, all the crop blades. So there was no crop at all. So that is how things are balanced in the nature. And we are trying to disbalance this wave chain. And that is, we are doing harm to us. Now, if we come to communities, how the community helps us and what was the community contribution to conservation of nature, or a tree, I should say it is tree. In India, nature and culture goes hand to hand together because we worship nature as our God. The main protest, if you see in all cases against the ruthless cutting of trees, came from the community point of view. They all assembled together and raised the voice against the government or organizations. And as I said, the 10 million hectares of trees are cut every year throughout the world. Is it need? No, it is greed. It is simply economics. I cut a tree, I get the money, and if you consider that the GDP increases, but nature conservation should not go only with economics. It should go with economics, science, and technology together. The nature can fulfill our need, but not the greed. And we have experienced in our service life that those who are millions of families in India is staying inside the forest. They don't cut the trees. They know the importance of a tree. Who cut it? The outsider, the contractors, the greedy people who cut ruthlessly the trees and sell it out for their financial gain, nothing more than. And you see, the community protest, if you analyze, in our country, it was very strong, like Bisnoy movement in 1763, Amrita Devi, with thousands of villages. They protected the prosopis julifula, tree cutting by the king in Rajasthan. And in that event, 300 people died also. And then comes the Chipko movement in early 70s. The ladies of Uttarakhand, they told you cut me first, then you cut a tree. Because they were seeing that there was no drinking water in the hill region because of cutting of trees. And that is how a community raised the voice throughout the world for conserving nature, for conserving a tree, to plant a tree. So after that, in 1980, this community conservation concept throughout the world came that gives some benefit to the community, and they protect the nature. They protect our trees. And now in India, all of us, we know that a joint forest management program is there by the department, by the government, by the organizations. Here, the localities or the families staying in and around forest are taken as members. They protect the forest, and government or the organization gives some sharing to them. Suppose if the tree is mature, it is cut, then some amount of revenue or the money is given to them. It is a usufruct sharing or benefit sharing process in India. And as I said, it is need, it is not greed. It is always a compromise that we use the trees. It is not that we'll keep all trees. When it will be mature, we'll cut it, we'll replant it. And there is a gap between this cutting and replanting a tree worldwide. And I tell you one interesting story of realization of a community, how they help and what is their realization when you associate the communities in the tree conservation. During my service period, I went to Maharashtra to see a joint forest management village. And while entering, they had a good tea stall, grocery shops and all. And I was discussing with an old person that you don't cut tree now? No, we don't cut tree now. So have you got everybody cooking gas connections? No. Then how you manage it? Previously, you would go to forest and cut all trees. Now you are not cutting, or you have taken diksha. Bhagavan ki diksha le liya sabne? No, it is also not that. Now we have realized. Previously, we used to go to forest and cut the tree, whatever came in our way. But now we have committee. The committee members goes to the forest and they take the dead and drying twigs from the tree. They don't cut a tree. And these dead and dry twigs are sufficient to meet our fuel requirement or firewood requirement. So that is how realization has to be there for everyone. And lastly, I should say, what is the hope? We are discussing, we know it. Without tree, we cannot survive. But what is hope in future for our future generations? Yes, it is there. We should be always positive. In G7 summit, 90 country heads that took a oath that by 2030, 2030, will reverse biodiversity loss and make a nature positive world. Everyone has a role to play in addressing the emergencies, and most agree that transformation are needed. Now this recognition needs to be turned into action by each of us for our own survival. I will request all my colleagues that put this idea to the students. Wherever empty space is there, put a tree. Wherever it is, in my courtyard, even in my balcony, the potted plants also equally serves the supply of oxygen, taking out oxygen, carbon dioxide. So let us all join hand to save nature, to save the tree, and save ourselves. Otherwise, our existence will be questioned in near future. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to discuss very simply what I feel about forest, what I feel about tree. And I think what I sincerely want that our students should be motivated, should be sensitized about the importance of forest. Once again, thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So you were listening to the talk of a person, feeling of a person who spent all the life in the forest. It was directly from the heart. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for giving us a chance to listen to you, and hope that we'll get such type of chances in the future also. So friends, with this, we are coming to the end of this program. It is a very short program that we have devised for you. Just to communicate that one Mahotsav is more than a festival. We should celebrate it. We should celebrate it not because of one reason, but of multiple reasons. I had discussed in the starting of the program also. And the one befitting reason is that the next generation should be saved. That whatever the type of the temperature we are looking in Delhi, whatever fluctuations we are looking in Delhi and nearby areas, is horrifying us. So, in case we want a normal climate, we want to enjoy the benefit of the climate, Sardi, Garmi, Barsat, if really we want to enjoy this, then tree plantation is very, very essential. We have to make a balance between development and conservation. I'm not talking about the preservation. I'm talking about the conservation. So we have to make a balance between development and conservation in a way that the plant should not suffer. So thank you very much for joining. And thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So with this coming to an end of the very short programs, I convey my best regards to Shri Chakraborty ji, Director of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan Agartala branch, who has spared some time to bless us on this occasion. And I thank you all for joining us on this beautiful platform. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank Namaste. Good, sir.
Thank you, sir.